Welcome back to A Thread of Hope, following Jesus' footsteps in the Old Testament. I am so glad you came back for another day to learn more about the Old Testament. So yesterday, we took a walk on the road to Emmaus with Jesus and his disciples. And while he shared the mystery of the scripture and how he was intricately woven into all of the Old Testament. So today we're going to go clear back to the beginning, and we're going to talk about the fall. Well, not clear back to the beginning. We're going to skip ahead to the fall, and we'll hit creation a little bit tomorrow. So Adam and Eve have been made in God's image, and they really have it made. They have the most beautiful place to live that you could ever imagine. They get to eat the most fabulous food, and all of their needs are being met. What more could they want? We humans love to ask our questions, don't we? So we're in chapter 3 with Adam and Eve, and a new character is introduced into this storyline, and he is not a good one. The serpent. He has evil intent even as he slithers his way into the Garden of Eden. Satan, the serpent, asks all the right questions that easily take Eve down a road of disobedience or sin, if you want to use that. They had two rules. Be fruitful and multiply. Don't eat from that one tree. That's it. All the beauty, all the great food, all their needs met. Be fruitful and multiply. Don't eat from this tree. Life was really good. And yet, this is the turning point for all of humanity. What they do makes a difference for all of us. We don't need to lament the choice that they made. We know it. We live with it every day. God knows right away what they did. And he asked the question, where are you? I've always thought that was funny because you and I both know he knew exactly where they were and exactly what they had done. No questions asked. But essentially what God is asking is, what is your relationship with me? If you're hiding from me now, that defeats the purpose of why I created you and what this relationship should be. He made us in his image to be with him. But now that's not an option because sin entered the world and separated us from God. We talked yesterday about how God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. From before creation happened until we spend eternity with him in heaven, he is the same. So today we are going to get our first glimpse of the extraordinary love that God has for us, as he shows us just a glimpse of his mercy and a whole lot of justice in how he deals with this situation. The world's broken. No longer are Adam and Eve going to be able to live in perfection. There isn't harmony between them anymore. Part of the justice that God gave them was part of the ramification for their sins. There's always a ramification, was that man would rule over the woman. That was what he said to her, along with painful childbirth. There's also going to be dissension between man and his relationship with nature, as God made this beautiful world for them. With everything they need, they separate themselves from God, and so now he's going to curse the ground, and there's going to be weeds in this beautiful garden that he created. But here, this next part is where we see the whisper of hope that begins, and it will roar as we get to Resurrection Sunday. So this whisper of hope is in verses 14 and 15 of Genesis 3. So God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and you will eat dust all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. So we got a couple things going here. We know that someone is coming that is going to take care of what Satan has ruined today. And that someone is coming from the seed of woman, which would be Mary down the road. We also know that while God has allowed Satan to bruise God's people, a bruise isn't lethal. It's only temporary. But God promises that someone will come and crush the head of the serpent. And that's important because the head of the serpent is where all the poison is. So when that crushing of the head happens, that is a lethal blow. And the serpent has been warned he isn't going to survive. He is not going to survive into the great eternity that God has planned. He planned it for the beginning, but now we're going to see it later. This is where the whisper of that thread of hope begins. And by the time we get to Revelation, it will be roaring. That hope will be roaring, even on Resurrection Sunday. So tomorrow, we're going to move quickly through Genesis 1 through 11 as a whole, and then we will go on to other things. So I can't wait to share tomorrow with you. We're going to talk about the flood and Cain and Abel. We're going to pack a whole lot into just a few minutes. Until I see you tomorrow, have a great day.